Okay, well, hello, Mineral, Ilka, and welcome to the
Hi.
Codename Amen podcast.
Thanks so much. Yeah, it's a great pleasure.
Nice to have
Excited.
you on, mate. Nice to have you on. Yeah, and
Yeah.
even better, mate, that you'll be over here in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, I mean, really looking forward to it. I'm really excited about the forthcoming gig and,
Oh, yeah, it'd
looking
be great
forward.
to have you over, mate. We've done a lot of stuff together. We're very lucky to have you massively on board with the Codename Records crew. A massive part of that, mate, and a big part of us getting together and everything and doing what we're doing to have you on board, part of the crew, releasing tracks through the label, and then getting you over here, mate, in a few weeks' time for the album, for the label launch. Really, for the proper launch. I know we've already got some tracks out and that. For everyone that doesn't know, that's Codename Records, following on from Codename Amen the Nights. Um, I mean, yeah, it's just great, mate. It's really good. I'm loving everything you're doing at the moment. Some great music that you're chucking our way. So for everyone out there that doesn't know, give us a little bit what you've been up to lately, mate, and kind of what you're all about.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. No worries. And first off, like you guys, I highly appreciate what you're doing with the label. It's such a great, I would say, great launch, great events it seems, and I'm so happy to join the crew, be
Oh, mate,
be
excellent.
with you guys. Yeah, I mean, I love music, so it's great to produce, but I also kind of like the whole culture thing, and I think that Codename Records is exactly what I love in a way. So kind of like bringing the talents, creating great culture, good events, all that. So yeah,
Yeah.
nice to be involved.
I
Yeah.
think it's kind of for myself and John, obviously, and Dave and other John as well. We've all been mates for a very long time, especially me and the two
hmm
Johns. And growing up through the beginning of the scene with the rave scene, and then through the jungle scene and everything like we've seen it. I think the way we wanted the label to be is very much what it used to be about. And
hmm
that's, you don't know every artist to start with, but you learn to love those artists because of the music they produce.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. We also have a group of like friends who've been there for ages. Yeah, and it's kind
yeah,
of, really nice to see that the music is the thing that brings us together, and
yeah,
keep moving, keep producing, and listening to new artists, and always reminding those golden ages of the 90s.
yeah, yeah,
Some
very much so,
brilliant
mate.
music was done back at the time that influences so many artists today.
Yeah,
So yeah,
agreed, mate,
yeah,
agreed. And
yeah.
like listening, especially listening to the stuff you've been making lately, how there's such an influence from that era still in the music, and that actually, that was that was the 90s. Here we are now, mid 2020s, and that sound is absolutely tearing it to pieces. The longevity in the sound, I can remember seeing various different like uh, podcasts and interviews with Andy C,
Mhm.
Goldie, people like that, and them saying, this is our sound, this is our thing. We're proud to have had this from the beginning, and it's lovely, man. It's lovely to still be part of that now and know what we're
Yeah.
doing is still that, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And there's kind of like, the way I see it, there was so many good, like various styles of drum and bass and jungle in the late 90s. And,
Yeah,
you can just, absorb so many ideas from that era. And
yeah,
I think like maybe like growing up when I was, younger, learning the first sounds of, jungle drum and bass beats, that's kind of where I kind of grab my ideas from. And
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so happy. Yeah, yeah.
I can hear that, mate, in your music,
Yeah,
big time.
yeah. And thanks so much for the kind words and signing the tracks to the label and all that. I highly
It's our
appreciate it.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Our
yeah,
pleasure.
yeah.
This fantastic to have you on board, mate. I love what you're making at the moment. It's incredible. And that's gonna be the first track we play tonight.
Great.
Because I think we look back is a massive tune. Obviously I've been lucky enough to have it kicking around on dub for quite a while, so I've been caning the death out of it and playing it everywhere I go, and everywhere I've played it, it's been a massive response to that tune. So to have it now out on our own label, and you be on board with all of that, mate, is just fantastic. I think
Yep.
musically, dance floor wise, it's got everything. It does the dance floor mad, and hearing it out on a big system is heavy. Sounds awesome, mate. So
Wow. Hey, I'm blushing, man, you know. But anyway, like thanks so much for the support. And I'm so happy if my music resonates with people like you and others who've lived that 90s, let's say.
yeah, oh
So
mate,
yeah,
it's there, man, big
amazing.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So tell
awesome.
us a little bit about the track, mate. Where you kind of got your influences from with it, where it came from.
Yeah, well, maybe I start with my background. So I've been always somehow interested in music
Yeah.
and especially melodies, as you can probably hear from that track and many many others of mine. So I used to play the piano. So that
Yeah.
was kind of my thing when I was younger. But
I
around
think
1996 was the magic year for me when I sort of realized that, hey, it is possible to actually produce your own music using computers. So
yeah.
that's kind of the starting point for my whole let's say producer era. And I would say that in this track you can hear some, parts from the melodic side that kind of range all the way back to the sort of atmospheric drum and bass from the
Yeah,
90s and
I
stuff
think
like
so,
that.
mate.
So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the thing for that track. Also, I tend to like sort of like, let's say, some hoovering bass lines that sort of add the grounds to the melodies in a
Yeah, so
way.
for me,
So
it's got a very
yeah,
warm bass line, if that makes sense.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what I try to create, and I think the way I produce music is always somehow, well, let's say sometimes it starts with the melody, sometimes it starts with the drums, but in this case I think the melody was the kind of the where it started to build, and then elements
yeah,
after
that was the key
elements and
for you.
all that. So yeah, I'd say that's the thing for that particular track.
Yeah. It makes sense, mate. I can hear that in the way it was, and just so you know, so we kind of your way of making beats, layering beats together, and using stuff that you do. I mean, there's a heavy set of beats to that track. It's awesome,
Yeah.
and it's got a real flow to it in the sense of it's a good dance floor vibe. So what you find sometimes is you can have tunes that are really great, but they struggle on the dance floor. Whereas that tune,
Hmm.
the warm bass line, the way the drums work together, it's got a really nice feel for dance floor stuff. And interesting, because obviously atmospheric. I'm not sure everyone, and this is why I love the fact that we're bringing it back like we are, because I'm not sure everyone really
Hmm.
understands, if you chuck that term out there, oh yeah, atmospheric drum and bass. I'm not sure people really get quite how much of a scope there is within that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's such a wide scope, and the way I see good atmospheric drum bass tracks is that you can sort of, if you're a good DJ, you can use those as a sort of like a tool in a set that is a little bit different from the,
Yeah,
so in a rougher set even,
yeah.
you can sort of like
It's,
build some different vibes to it, to your
yeah,
set.
that's
So
that's how I
yeah,
feel,
yeah,
mate. So that's a lot of stuff that I
yeah,
play. I like the harder stuff, and sort
yeah,
of jungly raggery stuff as well. So to pop some of that stuff in there just changes your set really nicely. It gives a different feel to what you're doing.
yeah,
So I think, look,
right.
mate, let's not tease them any longer. We'll get on with We Look Back
Sure.
by Mineral himself, and this is out right now on Codename Records. Welcome back, everyone. So that was We Look Back. The first of three, mate. First of three tonight.
Right.
And just coming on from the track there, mate, with how We Look Back. So kind of gave everyone a bit of a little intro before there, saying that it was about 96 where you kind of thingy, and you're saying you played piano and stuff before.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, myself, I've done music at uni and stuff. Did my stuff that way, the late 90s.
Yeah.
But really interesting, mate. So like my son, bless him, he's just had his 10th birthday, right? And
Oh, congrats.
right,
Wow.
so I
Cool.
gave my other John at his desk is oh god, you know, the Starship Enterprise. So he's got a Pioneer desk with the two
Oh,
CDJs and the mixer all attached, you know.
oh, that's
That's
awesome.
ever so nice. Same as what we got at the club that we'll be using.
Okay,
And
cool.
I gave it back to him a little while ago, and my son says to me, "Dad, I really like that. I'd like to get into a bit of mixing myself." I said, "Well,
Ah,
maybe I
cool.
won't get you that one to start on." So love him. He's just had his birthday. He got a bit of birthday money, and he wants to invest in a bit of equipment. So
Ah,
just isn't it
a,
mad though? Like I
a
think,
true junglist we can see. Yeah,
and they love it as well. They love
yeah.
jungle. They love jungle bass.
Cool.
They love a bit of hip hop. It cracks me up. And I just thought, wow, he's 10, you know, and the options that are available in that respect, like to kids already, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I got into DJing because my brother used to DJ electro. And remember, I don't know if you've ever heard of DJ Red from Trouble on Vinyl.
Yeah, I recognize the name. Yeah,
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 and then
yeah,
he's done his
yeah.
own thing, stealth recording. So that's a good friend of ours. And
Cool.
Red used to DJ when my brother used to hang around when my brother used to do loads of electro stuff and everything. He was always trying to pilfer checking my brother's records and this and that. And
Yeah.
it was just really interesting. So I got into DJing through the electro days and then the early hip hop because my brother was so into it and that. And then obviously Red was a massive thing for me getting into the music and knowing he was already doing the stuff and he had some big hits in the the mid 90s. So that kind of spurred me on even more, and then I went to uni, done my music stuff. So for you, mate, like playing
Yeah.
piano early doors, was that something you were like at school? And
Yeah, yeah. I played the piano, but I was always more into the kind of creating my own melodies. So that's, as I mentioned earlier, like the melodies is the thing for me. But
yeah,
let's say I I would say I started to listen some breakbeat sounds when they became popular in the, let's say, early 90s,
yeah,
and that was kind of my route towards jungle and drum and bass. And I would say somewhere in 1996 as well,
yeah,
there was the first radio shows in Finland that included like the new style, this kind of fast
yeah,
breakbeat,
yeah,
lots of bass, and I was immediately like hooked. Like, what is this? Because it's had a
such a
certain vibe.
different sound,
Yeah,
wasn't
and
it?
I've been completely hooked ever since. And
Yeah.
I must mention DJ Dizzy Finland, who is
Yeah,
actually the label head of Straight Up Breakbeat, the
yeah,
label that I also work with. And DC was the one who was kind of like the Finnish pioneer of drum and bass, playing in the national radio a monthly set from the late 90s. So that was kind of my, how do you say, like route to know what's happening in the scene and get to
that
learn
was your
stuff.
yeah, that was your
Yeah,
schooling, mate. Eh? Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You could say that. And yeah. So DJ DC, it was good. We had like Radio Mafia was the first radio station that I remember, playing
wicked.
all those. So legendary nights, listening to those sounds and chatting with mates, what was that? Do you know that track? Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
that's what it was
yeah,
all about, mate, wasn't it? I used to love
yeah,
those days. You know, we used to.
yeah,
I can remember
yeah,
the
yeah.
boys driving to London to record Cool FM. You know,
Right, yeah, yeah. I can imagine.
got the
Yeah,
freshest tunes. I've got this tape.
yeah,
I've got Pressure X off of Cool FM, or I've got Brocky, or I've got
yeah.
Kane. It was.
Yeah, man, I remember, and I mean, UK was a big thing. I actually did travel to the Netherlands to visit some clubs, but also later with my mate to the UK, to London, to visit I think it was 2002 or something. We visited, a couple of great places. We saw Ed Rush, Andy C, all
Yeah,
the big names, and
yeah. I used to get
know,
down the end all the time for Ram at
yeah,
the
at the
end.
end,
So,
yeah, exactly, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So
that
so
was a
that was
big
kind
thing.
of
That was.
a special occasion for myself. And later on, like 20 years later, now myself coming there, meeting with you guys, playing my set, it's such an honor. I can't describe
Oh,
how good I feel about it. Yeah,
feelings
yeah,
mutual, mate. It's great for us to have
yeah,
you on
yeah.
board with everything we're doing, and to get you over. I know you're supposed to be over last year, mate, and the madness of everything that happened. So to get you back now, mate, and get you over, especially with the way it all is at the moment, with the launch of the label, with everything
Yeah,
going nicely
yeah,
like it is, and we
such
found
an
ourselves a
honor.
really nice little venue, that are
Yeah,
very cool with everything we're doing. Good crowd down
awesome,
there, so it's
awesome.
it's great, mate.
Yeah,
We're gonna have a good day out when you come over and
yeah,
trust me.
definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, one more mention about the history and kind of like the early sounds in Finland. I'm really proud of, let me just grab something here. So this is a vinyl set of kind of like the first wave of drum and bass in Finland. So
Wow.
yeah, so this is kind of like a snapshot from the early days, and we do have a. This is my first vinyl release actually. So
Yeah.
let me just so with my friend Esk, we did this
Yeah.
kind of Congo tune. So Esk and Mineral Congo tune. This is our first vinyl being in this
Amazing.
compilation. So this is kind of like really special and where it all sort of started from. However, this was released way later, but the track is done back in the days.
Yeah. Oh,
So
mate,
yeah,
amazing. Wicked.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Really, it's a
we've got
special release. Yeah,
yeah, mate. It's lovely to have those things in it, like
yeah,
and
yeah.
especially I think like yourself, like us, and everything. We've all been involved in the scene for a long time. We've all we love the scene to bits and everything that we've been through. To just still be here now, being able to contribute and still being part and doing what we're doing again.
Hmm.
It feels special, mate.
Right.
It's a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
thing, and I feel I feel really proud to be doing what we're doing, and especially with John on board and doing it all like we are. It's just fantastic. I think
Right.
lots of stuff. So I got we kind of chatted about where you kind of got to with that. What would you say your what would you say your early influences were, drum and bass, sort of jungle drum and bass wise, mate? Who
Mm,
said Ed Rush, Andy C, and that, but who were you listening
yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
way back in the day? Who used to catch
Right.
you?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Let me just think. I'd say, of course, Goldie's Timeless was
Yeah,
one of, and also kind of was it like Goldie's Saturn's Return was one of the key elements. Ronnie Size back in the day, Adam F.
yeah.
His album. And then, of course, Edrasan Optical with the wormhole for the
Okay. Big
techier
album,
sound.
mate,
That
wasn't
was
it?
kind of like what's happening, such cool sounds,
Yeah,
so many. But let's say then if we move a little bit towards my, let's say, signature sound, which is the atmospheric, I,
yeah.
I have to mention Omni Trio.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
was listening to those tracks, with such a repeat. Also,
Right.
of
Yeah.
course, a whole good looking records, with all the massive amounts of great sounds.
Yeah.
So there's a few,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
could
Big time.
go on with the list forever, but those were let's say, the names that popped out. Uh, yeah, let's mention Source Direct as well, because that was kind of like a
Yeah.
really
Don't
unique
get enough
style.
credit, mate, today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Not with the reality of
yeah.
what they were doing back then, mate. Same with Hidden
Right.
Agenda. They were the same. Hidden
Yeah,
Agenda
yeah.
were like
Photo Kid, yeah, yeah, yeah. All.
and the man himself, Photek, I think you go back and you listen to Photek's work from the early 90s,
Yeah,
man. You play it now and you still go, wow, God, man, what a tune.
yeah. Those tracks really stand the test of time.
Yeah, the guy was untouchable back in the day. Untouchable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
Um,
also, I must mention, if you listen to Dilinja's early work,
yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. Some of the tracks,
Oh, mate,
uh,
big time.
I mean,
I
there is
listened
some
to
some golden ones.
I listened to an interview with Goldie a while back, and he credited Dillinger and Caliber as the untouchables
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
music scene.
yeah. Yeah, I also noticed that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I kind
but
of I think
yeah.
I'd probably agree with that in the sense that like the pair of them more prolific than any other producers that have touched the game. I think.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Caliber's a man of
There's so many,
some
so many
talent.
good artists out there.
Yeah. I know,
Yeah,
mate. It's great, isn't it? What a scene to be in, mate. Eh? What a scene to be in. So,
yeah.
you showed us that bit of vinyl, your first release on vinyl, mate. Let's have a funny little moment now. What was the first bit of vinyl you ever bought?
Yeah, it's actually Source Direct, and I think it's Source Direct, and let me just the Concealed Identity track.
Okay.
Such
Yeah.
cool aimants. I actually I can't remember what the year was, but I actually did not start the vinyls in the 90s, but only at the early 2000s. So I got
Right.
my
Okay, mate.
techniques only at around 2001 or so. So
Right.
I started with actually with CDs,
Yeah.
which
Yeah. Yeah.
sounds kind of
Oh
like
wow.
who buys CDs these days.
Oh
But
mate.
yeah, I must.
Yeah.
That's my dirty secret. So that's the world where I came from. But anyway,
Oh, I love
so
it,
yeah,
mate.
but my first drum and bass vinyl was Source Direct,
Okay.
Concealed Identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a track,
Nice. Nice.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mine. God, crikey. Yeah.
What was yours?
uh,
Yeah,
so first bit of actual vinyl that I bought was hip hop, and
yeah,
that was Public Enemy. That was You're Gonna Get This.
yeah.
I'll never forget that. That was a
Okay,
classic
cool.
tune, end of the 80s.
Yeah.
And then like either breakbeat, rave, that kind of stuff. Was Too Bad Mice Bomb Scare. So that was my first purchase
Cool.
of something that I'd heard,
Wow.
and I was
Yeah,
determined I had to go out there and find it.
yeah.
My brother was really good mates with the guy
Cool.
who owned a local kind of clothes and record shop.
Mm,
So I ended
ah,
up getting a good bit of a foot in the door there, and then I kind of got myself on the good list quite early.
wow.
So that was quite handy.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then got
Yeah,
in
yeah.
really good
Nice,
with Tom
nice.
at Red Eye Records. He and I became good friends a bit later on. And that was, sort of well, yeah, late to mid 90s, right away through to mid 2000s. So I've got very good friends with Tom. So there's lots of good stuff coming out of there.
Wow.
Tom was best
Awesome.
mates with Digital.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
Tom and
yeah.
Digital, Steve were best mates. And I used to get all the kind of lowdowns on what was happening with Digital and Spirit and all those boys early on. So it was
Wow.
good.
Yeah, yeah,
Well good
yeah.
foot in the door, mate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, I mean, yeah, and if you, I mean, that brings lots of good memories to me as well, And
Yeah.
let's say all the Renegade hardware early sounds, that was such something,
Oh God, yeah.
cool
We've been
stuff
through
they
some
did.
great transitions, mate, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah.
much.
We
Yeah.
seem to, discuss about different styles, but yeah, yeah. You seem to have good connections, back in the
Yeah.
day already. Yeah.
God, mate. Yeah, it
Oh,
was good. It was really good.
yeah, yeah.
So kind of, the scene in Finland, mate. What's kind of happening around you guys at the moment? What's big out there?
Yeah, I mean, that I would say that producers are really active now. There's so much high quality music going on. Again, I must mention Straight Up Breakbeat. That's kind of the label, at least for me.
Yeah.
I've been so happy and honored to be involved and like releasing my own label LP just recently. But there's lots of cool artists that are involved in that. So Fanu, Resound,
Yeah.
my friend ESC, as I mentioned, Esk. So
Yeah.
yeah, those
Yeah.
and just plenty of great stuff happening over there. I'm I must I must be I must say I'm not that much going to the clubs these days. As you see, I'm older, but I do know that there's a lot of like gigs happening all the time. That the nightlife is active.
Yeah.
People
Same
are,
here, mate. Same for
also
me.
that yeah. Yeah, and the thing is that I'm so happy that the younger generation is also kind of, you know, there's lots of producers and DJs from the younger generation, and I think that keeps the scene alive, which
Yeah,
is
big
great.
time, mate. We've got
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
thing here.
and to be honest, like of course the sounds evolve, but I do feel like there is some kind of touch to the 90s that we're discussing about. The bass music has its roots somewhere there, so it in a
Yeah.
way evolves. But
Yeah.
so good to see that the scene
Evolves
is
but
alive.
holds its roots, isn't it?
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, in a nutshell, the scene is really active. It's really nice. Lots of producers are active, and yeah.
Wicked, mate.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Finland.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
Finland doing good. Yeah, yeah,
Finland's
yeah,
buzzing. That's what I
yeah.
like to hear, mate. Love to hear.
We try our best.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so kind of to take us to our second tune tonight, mate, it brings me on to we touched on it a little bit there. Said you released your own album. So
Yes.
this is off of your album. This is Oral Destination.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
I love this tune. So I opened up the first podcast with this tune. Yeah,
Respect, man.
it's a big
Thanks,
tune,
mate.
mate. I love it. Yeah, I love the melodies, but I love the crashing amens. I love the heavy drum patterns coming out of where it kind of comes from. It takes me back to that sound. You used to get a very melodic, kind of dreamy
Yeah.
intro, and then in come the drums, which
Right.
that tune's got. It's got that drive. It's got the drums. So tell us a little bit about that, mate. Oral Destination. Where did that come from?
Right. Yeah, there's actually a nice story behind it because I had a small break or a few years break,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get children, you
I
get
read that
work,
with what you were saying.
yeah, so all these, but anyway, so Oral Destination is one of the first tracks I actually created after that break. So I
Okay.
had so much ideas in my mind, so that was kind of like I need to push these
Yeah,
ideas to to out, and
yeah,
I can sort of see it was, to be honest, I kind of created it quite quickly.
yeah.
It's just somehow, things were in my head and I was able to produce it in like I produced 90% of the track in one day actually. So it was
Wow.
kind of like, okay, that's it. And then, of course, doing the final mixes and whatever, that took some time. But anyways, the basic idea
Yeah,
was
yeah.
done
Which is what you normally find,
pretty,
mate, isn't it?
yeah,
That was
yeah,
there ready.
yeah. And it was funny. Another funny story. I was actually meeting this DJ Dizzy, who is the label head of Straight Up Breakbeat, and I was, driving my car, and I met Dizzy, and I was like, hey, you want to hear this new track I've been doing? And
Yeah, yeah.
I just played it out, and he was immediately like, yeah, I want to sign this. That was immediately like, hey, I love it, and sort of, that was a nice sort of encouragement boost to myself as well as an
Yeah, of
artist, because I had been on
course,
a
mate.
break and all that. So yeah, it's I'm quite happy with the track, and it has gotten so mad DJ support. Like you mentioned, you played it in your set, but it's been like kind of I can't really describe what it
It's a
means.
big
Like,
tune, mate. It's a big tune,
thanks so
bro.
much. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
like people like Doc Scott and Loxy, DJ Flight, this kind of like, people I highly respect and have been listening to decades are suddenly playing my music. That was, I was like, what's
yeah.
happening?
I love it, mate. Wow, listen, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing short of what you
But anyways,
deserve, mate.
yeah,
That's what it's all
yeah.
about.
So, but thanks so much for, liking it as well. Means a
Pleasure,
lot.
brother.
Means a lot.
Pleasure. Well, no more ado, mate. Here we go. This is Mineral, and this is Oral Destination. Here we go.
Enjoy.
Welcome back. So here we are, final part of the show. Time flies when you're having fun, mate, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Honestly, God, I can't believe it.
Nice.
And mate, we're both still sat here in the sunshine. What? So
Yeah.
obviously you're in Finland. Whereabouts?
Helsinki,
In
Finland.
Helsinki. I
Helsinki,
was going to say,
Finland. Yeah.
I was sure
Yeah.
you were, mate, but I didn't
Yeah.
want to go. Oh. So
Yeah.
you're in Helsinki. What's the time out there, mate?
Yeah, let me check. It's 22, 23 to be exact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's
So
still as you can see, I'm out on the car, and it's still quite,
it's really light,
quite,
mate, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's 8:30. It's 8:30 for us here, and it's kind of, it looks the same as it is for me, what it is for you, and you got another 2 hours on me yet, buddy.
Yeah.
Um,
If you get a chance to visit Finland on summer times, it's magical.
yeah,
You know, you got all the great nature.
yeah.
Sun is shining through the night as well, and
Oh, mate, it's I've
crazy.
been to
Yeah,
Iceland. I haven't managed to get to
yeah.
Finland yet, but I
Right.
took
You
my
must.
wife to
Yeah.
Iceland for her 30th birthday, and yeah, I loved it out there, mate. It was lovely. So
Yeah.
reminded me how I felt like I was in somewhere out of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just beautiful, just really, really
yeah.
beautiful, really different, really lovely. So yeah, must 100% Finland is on our
hmm
must-do
hmm
list. The kids are
Yeah.
determined to get out there with us. Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
So kind of where I wanted to go here, mate, is obviously, we're very lucky to have you on board with the label and heavily involved with us doing everything we do, giving us the great music that you are. But in the first instance, mate, you hooked up with our main man, Mokes. So
Yeah.
hooked up with Mokes, and you've done the Helsinki to Hampshire EP.
Yeah, that was such a great experience and
Yeah.
adventure. Thanks to John, man, yeah, it's been such a lot of fun. Yeah, maybe I mean how it all started from I'd say we must greet this kind, you can see my Omni Music
Yeah,
hoodie
yeah,
here. So
yeah.
so yeah, so we both connected.
Big ups to Chris,
Yeah,
Mr.
exactly.
Omni.
Chris, Mr. Esheton, doing such a great job as well. So anyways, like we just, liked each other's songs and sent some feedback like, hey, what's that track all about? It's so good and all,
Yeah,
and then I can't actually remember. I think it was John who first suggested that, hey, what if we try something together, either a
yeah,
collaboration or a remix or something, and then we just let's go for it, and exchanged a couple of tracks like, hey, would you like to remix this and that, and suddenly we had like two remixes on both sides, and Chris
yeah,
liked those on Omni
yeah,
Music,
yeah,
and
yeah. Mad
things
how
like,
things go sometimes, mate,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's how it goes. And I always really liked working with Sean, so we kind of created this really, how do you say, like, nice workflow in a
yeah,
way,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, it's easy to like come up with new ideas and go with some suggestions, and was really a lot of fun, I must say. And then
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a pleasure to collaborate,
I think first and
for real.
foremost, mate, like it's got to be fun, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
When,
yeah,
when you're
yeah.
stressing and getting frustrated with whatever, you're kind of losing the flow behind what you're doing it for in the first place. So you've got to
Right.
have that general feel of the fun. You've got to have the flow. You've got to enjoy what you're working on.
Yeah.
Obviously, knowing John, 30 years, I know what he's like. He's got an incredible eye for detail. He's a perfectionist in everything he does. But he's got a
Yeah,
great ear for the sound. He's making some amazing
definitely.
music. I massive props
Yeah.
to him because of what he's doing and the dedication he's got to the sound he's making. Um, and he's just making some great music, some really, really great music.
Yes, I
And
love it.
to then kind of hit it off with yourself and be making a similar sound in reality, similar but different. It's still got that soul. It's got that melody. It's
Mm,
got that vibe to it,
mm,
but it's different again. So to
right.
have those then that collaboration between the two, it's a nice fit and it's a good fit and it works in a nice
Right.
way and actually interesting how things happen in it. John got the tracks with Omni out, and through that then
Yeah.
you guys made that connection, and then through what
Yeah.
you guys were doing we were like, hang on a minute, there's a lot to be done over here, and actually we've talked about this for years, we've wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Suddenly we were like, you know what, why don't we just start a record label? We've got friends that want to
Yeah.
do this, want to do that, and obviously with a pair of you doing what you're doing, me and John have written quite a few tunes together as well, and then getting the other guys on board, Sam Link, John Tetley,
Yeah.
Non-Rev, you know, like,
Yeah.
mate,
Such a great piece of
Cold Leader,
musicians.
Rave
Yeah.
Tracks,
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
yeah, and high
uh,
respect to you guys. I must say, the taste of music and the selection of the tunes, the first releases are just so incredibly good. I mean,
thank you, mate.
it's really, really something unique, and you have a certain special style to it. And I really like how the label is already evolving to a certain kind of like own specific
Yeah,
style, with high quality music.
yeah, we wanted to take that gap where actually there was an option for some of the music that we love
Hmm.
and that we feel really strongly about, and actually we thought, you know what, we're involved with enough people now, we've got enough friends within the industry, and actually, do you know what, let's do it, why not? If we don't
Yeah,
do it now, if we don't go for it, we're never going to know. So to
yeah,
be able to have everyone on board the way it is and doing what we're doing, it's, yeah, mate, it's bloody awesome. And I think
yeah.
that just funny question for you, mate, right? So like for yourself, obviously you write your own tunes,
Uh-huh.
but you've been on a remix tip as well, right? So out,
Yeah.
out of curiosity, I'm just intrigued, like how do you approach remixes versus how do you approach making your own tunes? What do you find is that it's quite fun, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's really nice. But both is nice, creating your own music. But one thing I must say first is that, I mean, the best honor that a producer can get is someone to remix your tune.
Yeah,
It is an experience you cannot sort of describe if you aren't a producer.
the
It's kind of like
anticipation of
yeah,
getting it
it's
back,
kind of
mate, to
like
hear.
how does this artist see my,
Yeah,
creation, and what kind of things he can like
yeah,
develop it even further,
yeah,
and
big
so
time,
forth.
mate,
I
big
mean,
time.
that's the thing. And like, for example, if we discuss about this collaboration with John, I really love his way of well, the whole remix, but the drums in the track that he remixed is kind of like Why Don't We See Mineral, Why Don't We See Moke's remix. That's kind of, I'm still, every time I listen to the drums, it's kind of like, how did he create this vibe? And it's
It's
kind of
really
like
interesting.
yeah,
Me
yeah.
and John said exactly the same thing about the track that you remixed for him when we first heard it.
Uh,
We were like, man, listen to the drums. You know, it's just mental, mate. To hear you say that tonight,
oh,
it's just like
cool. Oh, nice
mental.
to hear. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, kind of, you hear other version of the song, and it's always an honor.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
also, if we turn it the other way around, like you said, like how do I approach remixing other people's songs? First, like I kind of want to do my best, because I
yeah,
respect that, hey, this artist has done a lot of work, and it must be an important track to him and or her,
yeah,
and so forth. And so the way I approach it is like, I want to uh kind of create my own stuff there, but making sure that there is still the original vibes or sounds or some specific stuff in it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's kind of like something in between. Like you have the original sounds, but then you have your own, and you kind of like
yeah.
go somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
You're doing your mix and match. It's like pick a mix, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Take
Yeah.
all the
So
best bits, you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
but it's kind of, I'm very ambitious in a way. I would say I'm even more ambitious when I'm doing remixes for other than, just doing my own songs,
yeah,
because,
yeah,
it's always kind of like, I wonder if this artist likes this, or if he thinks this is real crap. So, you know, but
uh,
hey, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, doing remixes or collaborations is a lot of fun. And,
it is,
I've
mate. I agree. Yeah,
yeah, and worked with many artists, I would say, doing collabor tracks or remixes. And, you know, it's always an experience where you learn from the other producer as well,
yeah,
because, we
yeah,
have
true. That.
certain like different styles of creating music and working and so forth. So
Yeah,
always a great experience. And I try to be open-minded, kind of like, seeing how this goes, and how this person wants to
yeah,
collaborate with. And, quite often, things work out quite smoothly.
yeah. I think for me personally, mate, I think that's a big part of the buzz. You pull
Yeah,
different things together. I remember D Bridge talking about that in a thing I watched him talk about. Watched an interview with him, and he said when they were with Bad Company, that was a big part of it. They had the four of them
yeah,
really pulling
yeah,
ideas from all over the show. I mean, you kind of look at what Fresh is doing now versus what D Bridge is doing now. Couldn't be
yeah.
more opposite,
They,
could they? But
yeah.
but back in the day, it worked really well
Yeah,
together.
yeah. I remember, I had still have Inside the Machine on vinyl. That was
Same
kind of
here, mate.
one of the key releases, also back in the day. You know, maybe, taking the Ed Rush optical sounds a little bit further.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I watched an interesting thing the other day. They were talking about the Nine Bad Company,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they
Also
talked
got that
about
one. Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it. It was El Hornet from
Mm,
Thingy,
yeah,
Pendulum, and he was talking about how the kind of the tune had evolved, right?
yeah,
And they
yeah,
went back and there was a track out on Hardware which was Maldini
yeah.
and there was two of them. And then obviously there was Future Forces, Dead by Dawn, which was D Bridge and
Oh
that,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, on
yeah, yeah,
Hardware. And if you
yeah,
listen to the track, I can't remember what the track on the other Hardware track was with Maldini and that. Oh God, it'll come to me in a minute. But I've
yeah,
got them all. And if you listen to that, then you listen to Future Forces, Dead by Dawn, and then you
yeah,
listen to the Nine, you can hear the evolution,
yeah.
how it
Wow,
became the
yeah,
Nine. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there
I
was
can
previous
relate.
versions and then
Yeah.
you know,
Wow, that's never thought about that, but now I know those tracks. So
yeah.
yeah,
Check it
that's a
out, mate.
really good
I'll
idea,
message
actually.
you
Yeah,
the other
yeah,
Hardware one.
yeah,
When I
yeah,
remember what
yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. Sure.
But you'll be like, wow, when I never.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
shocked me when
yeah,
I'd never put the links together
yeah,
when I'd
yeah,
listened to it, but and I've got them all on vinyl, but I kind of never really put that link
yeah,
together. And then I heard it,
yeah,
and I was like, shit, yeah, that's really true.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, sorry, mate, we've got a bit off key there, haven't we?
Yeah, I love it.
So for yourself, mate, give us a bit of a lowdown. What have we got to look forward from you, mate, in the coming year?
Yeah, I mean, of course, naturally, the Codename Records, I've been such, as I mentioned, excited to create my own music to you
Yeah,
guys and
yeah.
also remixes and also happy to hear, for example, you mentioned Sam Link doing a remix that is out soon, right? So
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah,
So
that was such
exciting
a
times,
remix.
mate.
Yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah,
no one knows about these lovely little
yeah,
things going on under the
exa
curtains.
exactly.
Big stuff happening, mate. Big stuff.
Right.
Obviously, you know
Yeah.
yourself, mate. And the teasers are out there, so you've heard people have heard Profit from saying Link. They've heard Don't
Mm.
Look Back from Yourself, but they've got something really, really
There's
interesting.
some really, and also I must mention Nothing doing the remix for Nothing was
Yeah,
really much fun, and
yeah.
been and actually
Another great
what
producer
yeah
in the
is
forthcoming.
is in yeah
Yeah,
such a great musician really
yeah.
his work is
I
so
feel so
talented.
privileged, mate, to have non-rev yourself,
Yeah,
co-leader, Sam, Nothing, Flipper. Like,
yeah,
mate, it's just
yeah,
flipping awesome,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, like Codename Records, of course, lots of forthcoming. Then I'm looking forward to the gig.
Yeah,
Meeting you
yeah. Then we've
guys
got the gig.
live.
Yeah,
That's that
look
I
out,
I've
everyone! If you
mentioned.
don't know, that's Codename
Yeah,
Amen. Beginning of July, Saturday. I'm having a moment now, aren't I? I'm
yeah.
having a moment myself,
First off,
honestly. I want to
yeah.
say the 1st of July, but I'm kind of having a small moment here. It is the 1st of July. See,
It
I'm
is.
your
Yeah,
mate.
yeah,
Doubting
yeah,
myself. Long day, mate. So
yeah, yeah. No
Codename
worries.
Amen. Codename Records, a launch night, the big gig launch night, which is going to be down there at Parfait, running through 2 rooms. So we've got the rooftop terrace, mate. Nice. And then we got the main room inside. So yeah, we're going to be smashing it, mate. And it's daytime
Yeah,
going into the evening.
yeah.
So
I mean, yeah. Let's have fun and play a lot of good music that we've been
yeah,
discussing today, and
doing that,
others
mate.
as well.
Can't wait.
Yeah, yeah.
So we got you over for that. What you got on the rest of the year, mate?
Yeah, so yeah, I've got some yeah, as I'm having this Omni Music
Yeah,
hoodie,
yeah.
so there will be some more music released on Omni later on. Don't have the
Amazing.
exact days yet. Also, we are currently working on some more collaborations with Chris,
Yeah,
Mr. Esheton
yeah,
from
yeah.
Omni.
Pick ups,
Omni,
Mr.
yeah,
Chris.
yeah, and I do have some tracks, for straight up breakbeat already, we've signed, but we see when it's coming
Yeah,
out
yeah.
and on what kind of package. Then we have some collaborations with Esk
Yeah.
coming on Sonic Force. We'll see, but I think that the vinyl will be out a collaboration EP later this year, I
Oh,
believe.
wicked.
But as you know, with the vinyls, it's always like a little bit of hassle, like
Yeah,
when
it's just you got to
when
take
and
time, mate.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then this Sentseru label that is about to launch. I'm on it as well. I'm on one of this Elsewhen compilation. Have one track over there, and then also a personal release later on. Don't have the dates yet, but
yeah.
yeah, there's
Keep everyone
that
posted on that.
that's kind of some yeah lots of stuff going on, but we'll see. Also, a really highly interesting fact. I met this jazz guitarist, really talented jazz guitarist that lives right right next to me actually. So we
Result.
were discussing, like, he also was listening drum and bass back in the 90s. So we thought, like, hey, why don't we meet at the studio,
Yeah.
and then we actually came up with a track. He was
Oh,
playing
mate, amazing.
live. So we kind of somehow went to that kind of like Easy Rollers, summerish,
Yeah,
vibes.
I got you.
And so we released our first track. I think it came out like a week or two ago on Omni.
Yeah,
So Vattuniemi Jam is done by myself and JC on the guitar,
yeah.
but we are planning to do some more. We have some
Oh,
tracks
wicked.
on the pipeline in a way. So
Nice, mate.
yeah,
Nice, nice, nice.
yeah. I mean, lots of good stuff, but yeah. I
Brilliant,
mean,
mate.
I just love making music, and let's see where it all ends up. I've got some, unsigned dub still, and thinking like what to do with those, and
Yeah,
yeah,
well, mate, you know
yeah.
what to do with them.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Check
don't
your
stop,
inbox
mate.
soon.
Yeah, all I'm going to say, mate, is don't stop. Don't stop what you're doing, because
Thanks.
myself and John and Dave, I just speak for the four of us, mate. We're massive fans of everything you're putting out there at the moment. It's some great stuff. So long may it
Means
continue.
a lot, man. Yeah, means a lot.
Long may it continue. So I'm going to kind of finish up the night with Mokes, A New Future Mineral Remix.
Let's do that.
All
Sounds
right,
great.
so a total change from what we have been listening to. Really
Yeah.
like the vibe on this, really different. And I just want to kind of take a minute, mate, to say thank you for trusting us with your music. Really appreciate it, mate. And thank you to all the other artists out there that signed to Codename Records. Some great people involved with the label, some amazing music coming through. And this is only the beginning. So long may it continue. Long stuff.
Right.
Great support in the scene from everyone out there. I know the last podcast numbers are kind of bloody crazy. It's gone off the scale with plays and stuff. So I'm really chuffed with that. So nice to be doing it, mate. I love to talk. I love getting to
Yeah.
the music and listening and playing the music. So it couldn't be better for us. And to keep everyone doing what they're doing in the scene and be expressing ourselves for what we believe in. It's great.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, thanks so much. It's been a great pleasure discussing, and also, being a part of your great label and great, doing, and you're doing such a great job,
Big
for the
ups, mate.
culture, and I highly respect that, and you are doing like incredible job. I
Thank you,
have no
brother.
words, and
Much appreciated.
such a
Nice,
pleasure. I can
nice to know what
no
it means
words.
from everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it really makes it warm, mate. So I appreciate that, mate. Thank you, bro. Much
Yeah, let's
appreciated.
toast to that in a month.
Let's toast to that in
About.
a month.
Yeah,
You know that,
yeah,
all right? So
definitely.
just in case you don't know, we're talking about the Codename Records Codename Name launch night. It's the 1st of July, Southampton, Cafe Parfait. You got me, DJ Rome, back to back with a man like Omen. We got the main man here on the screen, Mineral. We
Yeah.
got Mokes. We got a good friend of mine, Al Pack. We've got Clinical Sam. We've got the main man, Dave Sheeran. We've got, oh mate, God, it's just off the hook. We've got some serious
Wow.
names coming down. Serious. We've got Hovis. Hovis, a damn good long time friend of mine. But Al Pack as well. Al's making some big music out there at the moment. University Times, me, Al, Links, used to hook up with Links all the time. I'd seen him for a
Yeah.
good while, the old devil.
Wow.
So yeah, just great to be back in doing what we're doing, and mate, let's look forward to that catch up. So everyone, Minimal, Ilka, thank you, bro. Much appreciated for coming on, doing the interview. Great to chat to you tonight, mate.
Thanks so much. Meant a lot. Thanks
Wow,
so much, and
big
we'll
love,
meet
bro.
soon.
Big love.
Okay, big
And
ups. Yeah.
thanks, Codename Amen crew. Thanks for the podcast listeners. Can't thank you enough. Keep tuning in, keep listening. Some great stuff on the mix for you all to keep playing. But here we go. This is the last tune from myself and Mineral. This is Mokes, A New Future Mineral remix. Cheers, bro. Peace out.
Cheers. Peace out.